All right, ladies and gents, welcome. Welcome. How are we all today? An absolutely cracking day here in Melbourne. Weather update. Sun is shining. 23 degrees, believe it or not. Unbelievable. Absolutely stunning day here in Melbourne for a change, considering it's close to winter. Alrighty guys, so enough of that. Good morning, good afternoon as always, very good evening. Hope you are all doing well on this Monday morning for most of you, obviously. Big week ahead, obviously. Got some pretty unpacked news to come throughout the week. Also tomorrow starts with some high impact news for the euro, obviously the pound, as well. We got PMI, flash manufacturers PMI, PMI, and flash services PMI. Also same for the US dollar. So tomorrow's gonna be an interesting one. Also obviously for the euro. So yeah, hope you all had a good weekend. I hope you're all fresh and ready for another big week on the charts. And yeah, so that's what we'll be doing. We'll be analyzing. Sorry, just let me remove this. Okay, so we'll do the analysis as per usual, as always, starting with GJ, and then we'll move on to gold. Have a look eventually at GU and also NAS. So without further ado, guys, let's take a look at see what we've got moving forward today. Do say g'day as well. Let me know you're out there. Also, make sure to hit that like button. If you don't mind, maybe even share the stream. That'll help to get some more viewers to the stream. But let's have a look anyway. Without further ado, let's start with GJ. So looking at GJ and looking at the weekly time frame to begin. previous weekly candle, long wick to the upside. It did close back a bullish candle. I would call that a weak bullish candle. This area to the upside is an absolute sticking point. Keep rejecting. Every time we pull back up, we reject and close back really in this area consolidation back at these highs now. So, and based off that, I'm going to mark in a current daily candles low. I'm going to mark in a current daily candles high. I'm going to see what got either side of that once we go down in time frames. And that is also obviously the weekly at the moment, seeing it's the first day of the week. We'll see what we've got once we go down to the 4 and M30 in particular. But first, we'll go into the daily. All right, so daily, bouncing off that support here to the left on Friday after that breaking news, obviously, that sunk the market, sunk GJ. And it did bounce off the support here to the left-hand side. Did close back a pretty strong bearish candle. However, we are still technically bullish in structure. Current daily candle, once again, that's the highest low. We'll see what we've got either side of it. We're just bouncing, we've tapped into this previous support here to the left hand side on the daily. See what we've got once we go down to the 4 hour and M30. So bullish in structure with the current daily printing a bullish candle. All right, so onto the 4 hour. 4 hour seems to be still bullish from this big move to the upside, so nothing has changed in that regard. However, we've pulled back, trading within the actual structure within the micro trend, so that's within the overall structure. We're creating some lower highs at the moment, potentially pulling back to create another lower high. We just create a lower low. Let's see where we can mark in some zones though. All right, so obviously if I don't have a zone to the upside, I'll likely remove it though eventually because we're so far away from it. As for support, we've got support, most recent support formed around that 191, 180. Now I want to mark in a level just here. Obviously we're at a level over here to the left hand side that we have not yet, we've just recently retested on the previous candle. First time we've retested that level since we actually closed below, broke out and actually closed below towards the end of last week's session, trading session. So let's go down once again to the line chart and let's see what we can do if we can mark in some zones that tap in multiple occasions. So we obviously want to include the most recent resistance, and if I drag it across, let's see, we've got, I just want to connect some swing points just here. Let's see what we've got. I think that may be okay. So I'm just again using a line chart just to when in doubt as to what you should be drawing in as a clear zone, and it doesn't hurt to go down to the line chart to just get a little bit more information, see what levels prices tapped into multiple occasions, and that would be determined as a pretty significant level. Obviously if we pull that across, we've tapped in on quite a few occasions just here. So I'm going to use that, and let me see once we're going to back to the candlesticks. All right, that looks pretty good to me. So now onto the M30. Yeah, I think I like that. I do like it. It's a lot cleaner once we pop above it. We're starting to pop above support over here to the left hand side as well once we start to pop above it. So M30 structure, we are definitely bearish. So therefore the bias is still technically to the upside, but the M30 being bearish, that previous daily candle closing bearish, current weekly candle, not a great deal of volume obviously, but hasn't made much of a low wick. It's now pulled back quite significantly within the previous weekly candle's upper wick. So I'm looking at the moment to see where price could potentially reject, and for us to look for some possible sell options. We've finally retested that 4 hour support, which we had broken out of towards the end of the trading week last week, as I mentioned. What we've done, we've formed support on the way up to that level, retest it at 191.50, just below that level, 191.480. We've got some, at that point there, we're going to be actually breaking the support form within a current daily candle. So we're at a 4 hour level of resistance. So therefore, first of all, for the sell options, guys, if price begins to pop below 191.480, we're below that psychological round number 191.50. We're also going to be popping below the support form, the most recent support formed on the uptick. It's actually, no, actually, sorry, it's bullish on the 30 minute. We've got a swing point here. So it's bullish on the 30 minute. However, if we were to continue bullish, what we should do is respect levels of support that we have formed on the way up. If we begin to pop below those levels, what we're likely to do is come back down to the next level of support. So have we got the margin to look for potential sales below 191,480? Barely, but we may just have enough. Let's look at a 15. A little bit tricky. We've got this wick here. What I want to see is a nice strong closure. A nice strong closure on the M30 below that 191,480 for me to start considering my sell options from higher up. Again, I'll be confident at that point there. We are rejecting that 4-hour resistance, popping down and trade lower low. So that for me could be some potential sell options at that point there. Now, as for the buys, so what I want to see is if we are to pull back down to 191.50, I want price to respect that level, remain above it, or possible buy options above it. However, at this rate, I don't think we're going to really have the margin. But if we start popping above 191.750, I'm going to see if I can adjust this a little bit now. Yeah, drag this across a bit. I want to see where we could look for possible buy options, guys, above the current high. Still don't see much other than the same level, in all honesty. All right, so what I'm going to look for is a nice strong impulse to the upside. If we start popping above that 191.750, that point there, we're looking for a price to tap back into that level, and we're likely going to continue. We've got much cleaner traffic at that point too. We're back above the supports here to the left on the 30-minute, and be starting to hover above that on the 4-hour as well. So I think at that point I'd be more comfortable to look for the potential buys. So that's probably how I'm just going to play it for the time being, guys. I'm not going to look for buys above the high upon continuation. Will I? Maybe. Look, just depends where out London opens. It's a tricky one. It's a really tricky level, to be honest. And it's a slow trickle at the moment to the upside. So we'll see. But that is it, GJ. Let me quickly take a look at gold, and then I will say good day and move on to have a look at GU. Alright, so alright, on to gold. Wow, it's just made a nice move actually. No trades for me, haven't really focused on the chart. Been a busy man all day. So looking at the weekly, alright, previous weekly candle closed a strong bullish candle. Current candle has no upper wick. Do we need to make an upper wick? Well, there's a high probability we will, but we don't necessarily need to do so. Reason being is if we pull any pullbacks within the current candle, daily / weekly, if it's met on the minor time frames by resistance, and we look to see what levels that could be, then what we're likely to do is just head back down, retest the current daily candle's low, potentially create a lower low, and move further to the downside. But based off that previous weekly candle, we are a strong bullish candle onto the daily. Lower high, lower low. So there we go. Candle probabilities now to the downside in the daily. So that again just adds confidence as to look for potential sales upon the pullback. The fact that we have that lower high, lower low. You're looking to see where we could potentially pull back to form a resistance before we head back down. What we've done though is tapped into support here to the left. Are we going to respect it, or are we going to begin to pop below it? So technically, structurally we are bullish on the daily time frame, but what we do have is counter probabilities now to the downside if we were to look for any potential sell options. Onto the 4-hour, and once again it's still bullish as well, currently at that support. As we can see, we've tapped in on the daily. I think this is going to be a tricky one as well to mark in, guys. I'm going to mark in resistance, the most recent resistance, which is way off the current level. Also going to mark in, I'm going to use that level there. See what I've got left, M30. So we're technically bullish, but at a support. So a good level to look to buy it from. All right, this is looking pretty good on gold. So pretty happy to leave that level in. Big cleaner once we pop below. It's starting to pop below that bearish candle wick. Oh, it's a bearish candle, shouldn't really concern me. But even then, we're starting to pop below his previous level. If I were to drag that across that level of consolidation, I'd rather price pop below it to start looking for potential sales upon continuation. All right, so what we've got is 30-minute structure is still technically bearish from this big impulse over here, the left-hand side from last Monday or last Friday. Actually, no, it's not. Sorry, I take that back. It's a bit all over the place, guys. to create a lower low just here, but we are still bearish either way because we've closed below this low. That was the highest point. We've obviously closed below it, and most recent swing point in a downtrend at this stage, unless we create a lower low in the next 8 minutes, we'll be up at 23.93 roughly. Now, so we are bearish, but that's on the 30-minute. But we do have the bias to the upside still. Not only that, we are at a level of support in the 4-hour. What we've done at that level, form a resistance within the minor time frame. So if we are to continue bearish now, what we should do is, if we pull back to that level of resistance and remain below 23.7280 roughly, 22.73 roughly, and what we're likely to do is head back down, retest the low, and if we do have the volume momentum, potentially create a lower low and maybe even pop down below 23.54. However, if we do pull back up and break that resistance, and we've broken the resistance at support on the 4-hour time frame, but the 4-hour time frame support, so we're more likely at that point there to make a deeper pullback off this support. So I'd be looking for closes above that level, tap in and look for continuation buys above that 23.73 sort of level. So I'm just going to change that to blue. Sells below that level and buys above it. What I'd be looking for on gold for the time being. Now, what else could we do? So we're at the 4-hour support. I have to wait and see for the time being, to be honest, guys. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait. Obviously, it's at a daily support as well, so I'm not rushing into sales upon continuation just yet. I want to see how we react if we do pull back yet again. But the current, like I said, current daily, weekly as an upper wick doesn't necessarily need to do so. I've identified a level price could potentially pull back to reject. Also got some levels a little bit further back, so by that point there, I mean, you could be possibly around 23.78 to 23.80 could be a level. Obviously a little bit higher up, around 23.87 to 88 sort of level. In the meantime, we could get into some buy options though, so we'll wait and see. That for me is gold right now. At this stage, it's just a matter of waiting. What would I prefer of the two, seeing they're the pairs that I do trade? Well, right now, neither of them ready, in my opinion, so we're just gonna wait, and that's all good. Wait patiently, and you're likely going to get into a more high probability entry. All right, don't be shy, guys. Do say good day. Don't forget to hit the like button. And I will move on to GU, seeing there's nothing really available for me in the next 5 minutes. Right. Well, GU, I can always leave that level in. That looks bang on, to be honest. I will gonna be cheeky and leave it in, but I'll do the analysis nonetheless. So on the weekly, we are a very strong bearish candle. That previous weekly candle, our current candle has no lower wick. See what happens once we begin to break it. Obviously, I think it's going to be a lot cleaner below that previous weekly candle's low. We've got clean traffic to the left hand side. Based off the weekly time frame though, strong bearish, clean traffic still to the left, just pulling back to create the upper wick. And now it's a matter of where can we potentially pull back to create our upper wick. Well, looking again, once again, we'll be looking to the left to see levels that price could tap into and reject. At the moment, we're currently below support, so if we continue to remain below it, the support there, so really anywhere below 124.20 sort of level, that kind of lines up with the support, most recent support. That price is broken. I think if we remain below that level there, that could just be the point where we're creating the upper wick and heading back down in line with the previous weekly candle. Structurally on the daily, we are bearish once again, clean traffic to the left hand side below the previous daily candle's low. 4 hour, we are also very bearish. Gonna draw in most recent resistance. Now as for support, well, we've got most recent lows as a support. Prices pull back from that level. Below it, I'm sure we've got pretty clean traffic. We do Definitely do. So it doesn't mean price is just going to melt. Often when people see this, they think, oh, have to get involved, have to get involved. It's a more high probability area to get involved in trades because you got clean traffic, so it is likely to make a cleaner move. But sometimes it doesn't necessarily make that move in the first go. It might trick you out a little bit, so you need to really be strong and wait for strong and patient. I mean, I mixed up my words today. Wait for some closures below that support, in my opinion, and then wait for the confirmation of a tap in and continuation for potential sells below that current previous daily candles low at 123.613. Let me have a look at the line chart again. Where's the level of tapped into multiple occasions? We got probably that level there, but I don't think it's quite a way off. Looking at 30, yeah. All right. I'm just gonna remove it. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. What we've got now on GU is, I'm just gonna drag this up below the current previous daily candles low. Got some really clean traffic to the left, so I'm obviously, if it were me trading this pair, going way back to our last that level, I'd be looking for sells upon continuation below the previous daily candles low. It's obvious, would make absolutely perfect sense to do so. In line for structure, in line for bias, likely make a decent move to the downside. Now further options. So I think if we start popping above 123.950, then there could be a sneaky buy on a possible pullback to retest a little bit higher up before it potentially rejects. So I'd be very careful with it. I would personally at this rate just rather sell it and wait for the right confirmation to do so. So for me, that would be back below that level I had marked in from last week, 123.930, still relevant. Otherwise, once again, if you're looking to the left, we've got a level around that 124.10. Price rejects that level there, could be ready to head back down as well. Not so keen on buying it, guys, in all honesty. Yeah, that's GU. Not a great breakdown. It's not a great looking chart, to be honest. Okay, about to close, still within his consolidation, so it's all good, guys. It's a Monday, we don't stress it, we don't force our way into anything, we just wait patiently. So let me now take a look at NAS, last but not least. Also in a massive downtrend at the moment, last few weeks. Starting weekly, so no lower wick, pulling back, so where could we potentially pull back to, or we'll see if we can identify some levels on the minor time frames. You could mark in a fib to 50%, but that's a long way off at this stage. So by that point, look, it could do it. It could do it today. It may not. It may do it in a few days' time if it is to do so. But you could look for rejections at that point in minor time frames. But I'm not going to bother marking in for the time being. I'm going to see what we've got in the daily. So strong bearish and weekly. Structurally, we are bearish on the daily as well. Below the previous daily candles low. Starting to pop back below resistance here to the left. We do have some clean traffic below that level. I'm going to mark in a low of that previous daily candle. Move on to the 4 hour. Once again, it's bearish. I'm going to mark in these lows because it is a lot cleaner below that level. So, yep. Again, it lines up with this resistance way out to the left. And once we start to pop back below there, we've got some pretty clean traffic to the left. So, using that level for the lows, the support, pretty sure you'll find once you go down to the 30-minute, it is actually bullish candle. So, it does make sense to incorporate the lowest point in this stage. Looking to the upside, I'm just going to use the bullish candles for now and see what we've got in the 30-minute. But if we are to remain bearish, we need to stay below 17416 roughly. We want to remain, bearish on the 4 hour. So I've had very little sleep, kind of making an absolute meal of the analysis this morning. All right, so yep, so that's bullish candle wicks to the downside, so I'm happy to leave that in. All right, so NAS is similar to GU, guys. In my opinion, I'd rather sell it because we don't really yet have any confirmation. We've got the 4 hour. Yeah, we'll just make that pullback to create a lower high and eventually head back down. Don't see where we've got really clean traffic to the upside, to be honest. I mean, we've got resistance here on a 15 approaching what's at. I'd probably mark this level in right now. Change it to blue. Let's go back to 15. I'll leave that in. All right. It's a similar GU. I want price to remain below a certain level. In this case, on NAS, it's 17,180 roughly. We do remain below it. I'm looking to the left to see where we form support within the current daily candle. We may form it within this blue zone. If we do so, start to pop below that support, then I've been looking for my sell options. So pretty much sells below current level for me on NAS, or upon receiving the right confirmation to do so. Further sells, and we've got some more potential sells below 17,117 roughly, or form within the current daily candle at that point there. If we can break below at this stage, it could be some more sell options at that point there. Now, as for the buyers, buy lower down, obviously. Seeing we're creating some high lows, higher highs within the micro trend. We get a significant close above that 17,180. It could be options to buy it, but very similar to GU. I honestly, for me trading this pair, or this indice, I'd rather just wait to see what it pulls back to against that strong weekly candle. Look for resistance to form. It has no lower wick. Again, doesn't necessarily need to create a lower wick as long as we keep respecting support on any pullback. But I'd just be looking to see where we could reject, form a resistance to head back down. And at this stage, current level could be an option, or we have some options a little bit higher up. Look to the left for previous data. So that is NAS. Once again, doesn't look great. Everything's in a bit of a pullback phase right now, guys. So makes it difficult because there is no volume as well. So the pullbacks are slow trickles at the moment. So maybe when the volume comes in, it will give it that added kick to the upside to create deeper pullback, or it's going to sink it. Potentially. No one knows. We'll have to wait and see. So that is NAS. For those of you who are interested. Tough. The analysis is tough today, guys. Charts aren't looking great at all. I'll say good day to the masses shortly. All right, who we got on para? Good afternoon to you. Rashan, gold. So, yep, just been over gold. Asha, good morning, brother. Hope you're well. Christopher, as always, good evening to you. Tin, hello, what do you think about gold? Well, hopefully that covered it. What I just mentioned on gold a few moments ago. Archer, brother, resistance on M30, you are not worried about that on gold. 23.74.4, because the resistance on GJ you are a bit careful with, right at 191.730. What's the difference for you, bro? 23.70 24.4. The difference is GJ gold's bounced off what's tapped into the 4-hour level of support. It's a lot cleaner above it too. And also, I mean, strong bullish on a weekly as well. GJ, I don't know, it's just a slow trickle. It's already making a move up, whereas gold is would be bouncing off the support. So I'm more comfortable looking for continuation above a resistance from support, rather than GJ's sort of in the middle right now of this range. And if I was to remove that, it's just consolidating right in the middle. So okay, let's just quickly remove it. You see what I mean? Just there, you're consolidating. If you use these highs, you use these lows, you're kind of in the middle, and there's no clear direction on it. Whereas gold is right at that support. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not as concerned about gold, to be honest, by that level. It's probably not a great answer to your question. I just feel gold looks a lot cleaner. It does begin to pop above that level. It's a good question. Help me a little bit. Just a little bit off, guys. A little bit off. Absolutely buggered. Really tired. Franco, good morning to you, brother. See what I mean? It's difficult today, and this is wise for me. That's all good. So again, if that's the case, you just need to be aware of that, and you need to wait patiently for the right moment to get involved in any potential entry. I feel on gold, it just seems to me to be a good level that also we have been trading within the current daily candle. GJ is not trading at all. It's just, that's a real slow trickle. It's barely sticking to the upside. Whereas gold has made a nice move down. It's created some clean traffic within it. We've formed resistance within the daily candle. We are to respect the resistance, or if we are to continue in line with the current daily candle, we should respect levels of resistance formed on the way down. And we've got nice clean traffic above it, so if we begin to pop above it, bouncing off the 4-hour support, I think it makes a lot more sense to me to look for that buy option. Let's hit that like button, guys. Got the deadlift cut on my shin. Did legs today. Stiff-legged deadlifts. Off to work. Speak to you later. Like stream, guys. Nice one. Take care, my friend. By the way, guys, if you have not watched the trade recap video from the weekend, do so. I think it was a really good one. It's a quick one too. It only goes for like 5 minutes, so it doesn't take up a lot of your time. Let me just bring it up for a moment. And that was a recap of the trade taken last Friday. I'll drop a link to it in the chat for those of you who haven't watched it. And it just goes over the confirmations I had to take that trade on gold, which was a really nice trade. Right at the end of the stream on Thursday. So I do definitely encourage you to have a watch of it, and you'll learn a lot from it. Christo, how's the weekend? Yeah, not bad, man. Just busy as always. How about you guys? How's everything going? How's the weekend? How's life treating you guys? It's a tough one to trust, to be honest, when it's been such a slow trickle. Absolutely no volume. Today's why I really want to see a nice strong catalyst candle. I was to consider any entries anytime soon, especially on GJ. At least gold's been trending a bit. GJ's just a slow mess towards this previous level. Most of them are going this weekend to crypto event. Not interested one bit, to be honest. No idea was on. BJ pulling back again. Nothing just yet. So Bitcoin's obviously bounced back. Quickly, it's got some long wick rejection, so it's tried multiple times to really retest that 60,000 level and keeps bouncing right off it. Last Friday was evident. Obviously, pretty much did that. This thing not melt last Friday. Back on the news. I swear it did. Oh, but anyway, last week it did. Either way. Oh, it did. That's Friday. I forget that the market's open 24/7. That is last Friday. It did melt. I was thinking that's last Friday. That's a doji candle. That's the weekend. Yeah, so last Friday, obviously, it tapped right into it, bounced off it again. It is a key level. It's a massive level. I've mentioned it a few times. Every time someone asks me about Bitcoin, that it needs to, if it is to continue bullish, it needs to remain above 60,000 basically. And if it does, then there's every chance it could either trade range bound, retest the highs, if we end up heading back down. But more likely, if there are other time frames that to the upside as well, that eventually it could pull out and create a high. That's just technically based. I'm not sure fundamentally based what's going on. Bullish in a 4 hour, it's out of resistance though. It looks good for still potential moves to the upside. If it breaks through level of resistance around at 67 sort of level, then there's a good chance it will come towards 68. Breaks above that, then really good chance it's back up above 70 pretty quickly. Look at GJ rejects. So I think that level is quite relevant, guys. I'm pretty happy to leave that in for the time being. Once again, a little trick you learn from the streams, guys. Free education. When in doubt, go to line chart. That will identify a few zones for you. Make it a little bit easier for you to determine potential levels price could pull back into. Drag this across, tapped into it multiple times. Adjust that. Add. It's been a pretty good few weeks, guys, especially in Australia. We've had quite a few trades, which is good. There's always going to be days where there's not much on offer. We need to be aware of that and know when it is the best time to actually stay away from a trade. We'll see what we've got moving forward though. Mania is live. Gold. I've been over gold. Gold, long term remains below 23.72. I'd rather sell it. I'm not going to sell it into support. So I mean, upon that pullback, and where I look at this stage to get involved in buys is above that resistance. The most recent swing in the downtrend, the most recent resistance formed on the way down towards the 4 hour support. That is 23.73 roughly. If we start to pop above that level there, that is when I'm going to start entertaining potential buy options. Have we got anything on 15? Nothing for me. There is absolutely nothing for me at the moment to even consider on gold. Much as you want to buy low, sell high, that type of scenario, I don't have really any strong enough confirmation to be buying it right now. 30 minutes still open, so I don't even have support on my confirmation time frame. The time frame I base my trades off, my entries off. So for me, it's just a matter of being patient and sitting tight and waiting. Sean, how are you, mate? Hope you're well. I haven't missed the thing, mate. His cards aren't really doing much at all at the moment. Just start a little Zoom call, so it makes it easier for me to annotate. If anyone does want to pop on, feel free. Again, just behave. And the deal is, if you do pop on, you need to watch me on another device on YouTube, so I don't lose viewers. I'm still happy with that level I've got marked in, because seeing how we're just consolidating just now, if it does actually close above, let's say 191, 750, at least you got a nice strong closure out of this consolidation. So that would be my catalyst. That would make me feel a lot more comfortable looking for any potential buy option. Otherwise, there is a chance we still could reject and pop below support. It depends how far below it, because we do have some more support a little bit further down to the left. Tomorrow is obviously quite a big day for news. Not sure. See if I hang about for PMI for the pound. It's at 9:30 AM for those of you in the UK, 6:30 PM for viewers in here from southeast Australia, Melbourne. Wednesday, big day for the Aussie CPI. Retail sales for CAD, durable goods for the US dollar. Alright, unemployment claims against GDP, so that's going to be a big one on Thursday, it looks like. So Tuesday and Thursday look to be the days. Is there... Oh, it is bank holiday, that's right. It is Anzac Day on Thursday. It's a big day for Australians and New Zealanders. Commemorate the war, the soldiers who have fought to defend the country, obviously. So it's a big day on Thursday here for Australia and New Zealand. So I will be on stream, even though it is a public holiday over here in Oz. And Friday, big day for the yen, obviously a huge day for the yen, so that might shake things up on GJ. And then we have some PCE price index for the US dollar. Yeah, so as always, there is news about, so just be wary of it, guys. I don't want to be necessarily trading at the news or into it. Alrighty guys, let's hit the like button. 32 is not acceptable. I'm having none of that. I need to get up to at least 60, 70 to grow the channel. Once again, once the channel grows, I'll open up Discord. There'll be a lot more involved in the Discord, so it's in your best interest to do so, guys. Get the party rocking in here. 22nd of April. Let's look at the monthly. Let's just see what's going on. To kill some time. So GJ, inside bar candle, forming a weak bullish candle. Yeah, not a lot we can make of that, to be honest, other than the fact that it is forming bullish. It does have a high low. Obviously, it doesn't have a higher high, but it's the fact that the previous candle closed bullish, current candle has that higher low. Should really remain bullish. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to, though, obviously. I don't know what to make of that. The monthly, we are also at price discovery level, same as gold, obviously, price discovery levels, all-time highs. So, forming a strong bullish candle yet again on gold. It's tough with gold because, I mean, yes, it's bullish across the board, but any breaking news from any of what's been going on in the background with obviously war tension and that type of thing is likely going to give it a massive push to the upside yet again. So would expect gold to close a very strong bullish candle, would even create a higher high. Still plenty of time. Obviously, we got pretty much this trading week, and that's it for the month. So again, looking at the weekly, no upper wick, it pulls back, forms support. It's at a level I want it to respect. It does so. There's a good chance that we will eventually pop back up yet again. So wait and see. All right, forming a resistance at this support now. So we're doing kind of similar to what we've done here, doing it just here. So let's just measure what potential margin we might have. At 23 pips, we're coming towards then about almost 35 minutes of London Open. We'll see where we're at. Still prefer it above 23.73 the buys, but we'll see where we're at nonetheless. Mad Zach, fast. Fast as in it could create higher high, definitely could. So let me know, guys, how's the trading month been? Let's discuss what's been going on. How's it been? Have you guys been disciplined? Have you had a good month? Have you had a bit of a setback? How's it gone? Mad Zach, next signal. What do you mean? There is no signal, not at the moment. GJ's consulting. Gold is not looking great at this support. There is nothing in the price action yet for me to give me the confidence to take any entry whatsoever. So sit tight and wait for the right time. Doesn't always mean we're going to get a trade. Sometimes we get 2 trades at a stream, sometimes 1, and sometimes none. Depends. Last Thursday we got the trade right when I was about to finish the stream. I was literally about to pop off, and then I saw something on gold that I liked, and it ticked the box, and it was a perfect trade. So it's a matter of patience. Sean, mine has been good. Had setback Monday, as you know, but other than that, been amazing. Good job. Yeah, obviously you've kept me quite up to date, so it looks like you've had a pretty good month. There's always going to be those setbacks, always. It's always, and it will always happen when you think you've got it. You think you've understand it finally. Markets always come back to humble you. So you just need to. So I always say to you in the messages, mate, just take it day by day, trade by trade. It's the old cliche, but honestly, don't get too far ahead of yourself and thinking what you're going to do once you got all these, you know, all this cash coming in, because you put pressure on yourself to actually get there. And yes, you obviously, that's a goal, you want to get there, but it will happen in due time. As long as you become consistently good with your routine and you have an edge that works for you, the rest will come. If you don't think about it, worry about it, it will just come. Get to the point, I mentioned it on a coaching session on Saturday, it's just you become confident in yourself. Like, you get to the point where you expect every trade to be a winning trade. You know it's not going to happen because it's just law of probability. Not every trade is going to be a winning trade, but you're so confident in your analysis. The only time you should be shitty with yourself is if you force something that wasn't within the plan. Mad Zach, I'm from India. Well, glad to have you here. So one little help me please. I'm not sure how I can help you, my friend. You just need to wait. That's it, Sean, you know it. Honestly, I used to daydream about it too, what I'm going to do with all that passion at, and it was the moment I stopped thinking about that shit and stopped following all those, you know, so-called influencers or Lambos and all that shit. That was when everything started to change, to be honest, when I realized it's not about that. It's all about consistency. It doesn't matter what account size you're trading. It's all it's about. Give me 50 please for trading, please sir. There's always someone, isn't there, guys? And it's those people who unfortunately will never make it. Because they, even if I gave you 50, you'll blow it within 5 minutes, I guarantee you. Alright, GJ closed, back of that consolidation. Nothing for me, we've got 30 minutes left until London Open. Likely now we're gonna have to wait for see where we're at the Open. Sorry, mate. You're gonna keep asking for stupid things. I'm just gonna have to time you out, my friend. RPD, club, gold. Yeah, nothing at the moment. Obviously, we're tapped into a level of support in the 4 hour, which I mentioned I want to see price tap into. But what we're doing right now is just making a mess, to be honest. I want a bit of resistance on the 15 minute at the support after bouncing off it. I mean, could there be potential buy options on a closure above it? I doubt it, because we're likely not going to have the margin, but at this stage that is the closest to a potential entry in my opinion on gold. I'm not interested in selling it back into this 4 hour support, and I'd rather let it make a clean move down than get involved, to be honest, and then look to pick up pieces later on if it was to just continue to the downside right now. Otherwise, for me, where it makes the most sense right now is sells below 23.72. We do pull back to retest the most recent resistance formed on this move to the downside within the current day's candle. And if we are to continue bearish, then we have no need to start popping above it and closing above it. If we do so above 23.73 roughly is where I'd be looking for potential buy options on gold at this stage. In GJ, and no confirmation for me to take any entry. Franco, very slow market today. Yeah. Monday. It's always in my opinion, day where I've always said it. You've heard me say it on stream. I find Mondays, it's better for those who trade MY in my opinion. Because at least you've had 2 full sessions of data print. Well, often Monday Asian session unless there's been some massive breaking news over the weekend. Often it's quite slow as well, not a great deal of volume. It doesn't really leave much to sort of give us any indication. I mean, today gold was good, a nice move down. DJs, it's been a slow trickle, creating the upper wick on the daily / weekly. In all honesty, I really think trading MY session is probably a little bit better of an option on a Monday. Well, where to buy gold, like I just mentioned before, at this stage likely above 23.73. We've got no upper wick on the weekly and daily. We've pulled back significantly already with that previous weekly candle. We've pulled back to a level of support where we could be grabbing some more liquidity from. And if I'm looking to the left to see where we could potentially begin to bounce off this level and give me the confidence to suggest we're ready to continue. And it's the most recent swing point on the move to the downside at 23.73 roughly. So if we start to pop above that level, that is when I'm going to start trusting the buys at this stage. Otherwise, just need to patiently wait. Once again, keep the analysis simple, guys. Forming a strong daily bearish candle. If we were to continue bearish and not need to pull up and create the upper wick, you look to the left, where could we potentially reject? Obviously, the most recent resistance, we've got some a little bit higher up around at 23.78, like I mentioned. Then we're starting to look at around at 23.83 towards 23.88 roughly. And that is if we are to continue to the downside throughout the day. But there are options, I feel, once we pop above 23.73 to get into buys to retest some of those levels that I've just mentioned to see if price does eventually come back down again. Mean, what is the buy zone, please? 23.73, pretty much just above that level. 23.72.985 to be exact on or under. Alright guys, I'll be back in just a moment. I'm back. Sure. It's gotta go. All good. All good, man. All good, my friend. Tomorrow I'll be on about 7:30 a.m. roughly, UK time. Sun going down. It's starting to get bloody cold in this room. Hit the like button. That'd be good. No worries, man. You too. I'll whack on a jumper. Oh, Nick, good day to you. Cracking day, isn't it, my friend? Still a bit chilly indoors though. What do I do with this zone? I don't know if I like it. Go back to the 4 hour. Basically the same. It looks okay below that level. I dragged it up by about 15 pips or so. I think it's fine below the 23.56.30. Like this time of year, a little bit crisp on the ride in at 7 AM, but all good once you get going. Yeah, it's a bit cold for me, man, but it's only going to get worse, isn't it? So I shouldn't really complain. Cracking day today though, but not gonna last too long. Not looking forward to it, man. This Arctic breezes. Oof. Definitely a windy city, Melbourne. The city by the bay. When am I moving to Thailand? Every time I go there, I keep saying next time I go, but it's a lot more difficult these days. They're so much more strict. I mean, I used to have no problem going every 3 months. Never had an issue with my passport, visas and that. I wouldn't be able to do it these days every 3 months. They definitely wouldn't let me in unless I had a more permanent visa. So that is something I will organize, but when? Hopefully later this year, but wait and see, my friend. All right, 15 about to close on GJ, respecting support at the moment. Gold coming down further. Yeah, I'm really, to the downside, it's a bit difficult. This wick kind of puts me off. I know it's a bearish candle wick and I usually don't consider it something to worry about because bearish candles form resistance, not support, but running into a pretty strong level to the left hand side. So once again, being Monday, and if you're not sure, if you're not comfortable, you don't need to be in everything, guys, that moves. You simply wait. If it melts, then you know you're just looking for that pullback continuation to the downside. Whatever makes you feel more comfortable. Wow, look at this. Let's just watch it, see where it actually drops to. Nick, surely I haven't put it to in a category above the rest. Yeah, you still need to go through a lot of barriers though. It's a bullshit system, to be honest. Alright, melting. This is good. It's good. So we're still continuing in line with the trend on the current daily candle, in line with the M30 structure. So making a clean move now is fine. So what that means is I just need to wait for a bit of a pullback and then look for my options to look for a sales bond continuation, similar to what happened here, perhaps, which, you know, would happen at a time of day I wasn't on the charts to even consider looking for a sell. However, if you got something similar happening now, or you're looking for again, is the same type of thing: rejection, pullback, look for resistance to form, and then look for your catalyst to potentially take your sell in line with the current daily candle. The way it is continuing to pull back, once again, I don't feel we necessarily need to create the upper wick. I know a lot of people are going to say it's got no upper wick, surely going to pop back up, create the upper wick, grab liquidity. That's all it's doing. Yes, maybe it's grabbing liquidity on the weekly. but I'm of a differing opinion when I see candles forming as is. What I look for is levels for it to respect in order to continue to downside without needing to pull back, create the upper wick. And that is where maybe we've grabbed more liquidity before we head back down. So in this case, once again, it's the exact same swing point at this stage, 23.73. That would be at this stage the next level I want to see price pull back to. See if we're going to continue to the downside, potentially grab liquidity from the upside to continue down. If we begin to pop above it, break above it, then that would suggest maybe we've grabbed liquidity from the downside, potentially head back up and maybe eventually flip the daily or flip the weekly. BJ breaking from well above the support, so once again it's all good. I'm not into taking the impulse entry, so just need to wait and see where we do close now in the next 9.5 minutes. I mean, some of you guys know when I would consider taking the impulse entry, and this definitely is not one of those. We're way too far above that support for me to look to take the impulse entry. So in that case, I'd rather skip it. Pretty boring stream, isn't it? Sorry guys. Honestly, if my eyes are so heavy, I reckon I could fall asleep. All right, what have we got? 6 3/4 minutes until London Open. Let's see where we're at. Gold bouncing back above, so this level could be spot on. Could be spot on. Wait and see. GJ almost tapping into the next level of support, so yeah, it's just a matter of waiting. We'll see where we're at the open, and we might need to reassess from there. Josh, more into you, brother. Hope you're well. Hard smoke, good day to you. GJ melting might be a trap. Good. If it starts to close back above the support of 191.50, a psychological round number, then potentially it's just grab liquidity from the downside. But again, it's still going to be below that resistance, so I'm not comfortable until it actually starts closing above it. If it closes above the current daily counter high, then it's likely going to close above that level I've identified on the line chart. And then I would be a lot more comfortable looking for my buy options. Let's have a look at GU. What's that up to? Yeah, similar. Would have been difficult for entries on GU. Everything's impulsive. Not enough margin as well. Here, EU looks okay. Actually looks pretty good if this candle closes below support. Not sure if you got margin though, but again, EU gets pretty tight one-to-ones. At range, you got like 8 pips. It looks a lot more. And to be honest, if this candle closed right at its low, your stop loss should be safe, but it is London Open, so it's going to be a bit more volume. But your stop loss behind technical level, which is the candle, just bouncing off it just now. You could even at times get like a 5 pip stop loss on the majors, in all honesty. And I have mates who sometimes will scalp AU literally with like a 4 pip stop loss, aiming for 4 pips, 1% risk. Who am I to judge if it works for them? There is no given rule that you need to secure 10, you need to secure 20. If you secure anything other than 50, it's not worth it, or it's just up to you guys. I generally try to hold for minimum 10, but sometimes I'll secure at 8 or 9 if there is reason to do so. Now, if we do close below this zone, I'm just going to remove it, and I'm going to actually move it down to the most recent M30 support, which is also a level in the 4 hour, so mark it in grey. Mark it in just now anyway. And it doesn't mean I'm trying to sell it into that level, but it means I want to see how price reacts to it, and potentially could buy it as long as I get the right catalyst within price action to do so. A little bit of structure falling at this support, and it is a lot cleaner below it for sales. That's for sure. That's where we start throwing some really nice traffic, like 23, 46, 20, 25. What's silver up to today? Coming down, could be time to buy. It's still pretty run up. I invest in silver, so I don't trade it, but I invest in it. I'd probably be looking for a retracement 26.05 roughly. Yeah, I'm gonna buy any until at least that level. It does pull back. All right, just over a minute remaining until London Open. Let's see where gold closes. I'm not gonna sell below the low. Already made a big push. This candle itself has moved more than 100 pips, so yeah, 136. Just want to see where it closes. DJ popping back. All right. Perhaps it was just a bit of a grab of liquidity from the downside, but again, doesn't mean I can just buy it because I have no confirmation to do so. I'm gonna have a 15-minute closing back bullish, so I mean it's just a matter of wait and see still. All right, here we go. About 10 seconds till London Open, and I will remove this zone. Yeah, I'm going to remove it. We're going to close below it. So now we've got a bit of a range between the M30 resistance and a 4-hour support at 23,487 roughly. So we're close to strong bearish candle. Got London Open. It's not a level for me to look for any real buy right now. I feel it can still come down a bit further. GJ closed just below it, but again, that candle pretty much almost tapping into that support. There is no option for me on GJ just now. Just need to wait patiently. And that's my game plan for the time being. I'm just sitting tight and waiting. Gameplay now can sell or not, sir. If you want to sell, you can sell, mate. There's nothing for me. That's I'm just holding tight, sitting tight. So up to you guys. For me, if I take a trade, I'll let you know. I always do, but right now I'm not. Josh, good day to you. I just saw you there. Sorry, brother. How are you going?
Hello, mate. You alright?
All good, all good. Just a long few days, so.
Yeah, I feel that pain, bro. I really do.
That's it, mate. How's the weekend?
It was quite productive in work-wise. So I had to work last night as overtime, even though I originally now on holiday from work, starting today.
Nice
So
one.
Did a couple of hours last night, but I forgot to clock out, so I'm expecting
That's all right.
a message sometime soon.
That's all right. You're still on overtime then.
Oh no, it was overtime. That's the thing.
But if they don't know, just what they don't know won't hurt them. Nah, I know what you mean, man.
Yeah, so just gonna wait and see what happens. But yeah, it wasn't that bad of a weekend. Saturday was quite productive. I did a lot of work with work, and but the majority of the time outside of work, it's just been quiet life. So I've been trying to
that's it.
Relax, look for like other places to stay, looking at new applications with work-wise. So
how is it over in England? Is it difficult to find rental properties and all that? Or I know here, I think they're saying it's really difficult now.
it can be difficult, especially if you're going to be a single occupant. If you are a married couple, it can be a little bit easy, but the issue you're going to have is for the housing market is a lot of interest rates when it comes to mortgages. So a lot of people, they obviously want to apply for a mortgage, but because the prices are so high at the moment, especially with housing markets, they all are waiting for like the housing market to crash.
Yeah, similar here.
And they're expecting, this is like people's opinion, they're expecting at least 3 to 4 years maximum for like the housing market to crash, just because of the inflation, the wage inflation, and all the stuff that's happened around since obviously the pandemic era.
Yeah.
I think it's been overbloomed, and
yeah,
a
it's
lot
just,
of people's panic.
I think it's basically a common thing in the Western world. It's the exact same here. Exact same, no different whatsoever. So thing is, long term, I think you're always gonna, properties, look, I'm not gonna say it's always gonna go up, but I'm sure if you look at the same property in 10 years time, it's gonna be of more value than what it is, you know, now.
Well, the issue is at the moment with like the housing market, because the houses prices are so, let's just say, ridiculous. You're looking for a place to rent out. Like, I am trying to rent a place locally where I'm working, and the cheapest rent a place is, and this is apartment wise, you're looking at about £900.
Or what's that for a month?
No, sorry, monthly.
Yeah, I think it's similar here in Aussie dollar equivalent.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So a lot of people are getting stressed out, especially single occupants. If, for example, you don't have anywhere to stay, of course you're going to be struggling to either try and find social housing, or you're going to be likely to become homeless, which that's why a lot of stuff is happening during this country, because a lot of people are struggling to make ends meet.
Yep, I can imagine. It's the exact same shit here, man.
Yeah,
exact same. So it's a real struggle. For me, I choose not to rent. I don't own a property here. I stay with the folks, help look after them. They're obviously of elder age, so I help them out. The old man got some issues in that, so he needs some attention, some help, and it's just not worth me renting. And I've put my assets, my cash into a property overseas, so can't afford anything here. And even that costs a fair bit, a lot more than what people think. So
yeah, absolutely, it makes complete sense to buy a place, then you can rent it out. That can make some assets to pay off the mortgage.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
how things work.
Well, a house, technically, if you live in it, it's a liability. It's not an asset.
No.
It's just costing you money. It's different if you actually own it, and it's like you said, someone's renting it out for you, paying your mortgage and that, and you've got some in your pocket. And then it's not a liability. It becomes an actual proper asset, or, you know, income earning asset.
Yeah.
But people often mistake it. I mean, it's, of course, if you can own your own property, fantastic. I mean, something you can have forever. You can pass down to other family members, your kids, whatever. But it just costs you money. That's all it does.
No, absolutely, it does. Especially even if the mortgage has been paid off, you're still gonna have to pay like the assets of the bills, and then the repairs.
Plenty of other things, upkeep, insurance, all that stuff.
That's literally going to be the main things you're going to be looking at, especially if you are buying a place compared to renting.
Mate, I've had a lot to do with that over the past few years with my property over overseas because of the weather extremes. A lot of upkeep. It's cost me an arm and a leg, and I've raided my trading account often to fund it. So that's a bit of a pain, but it's something it's a necessity. You let it go, it just gets worse to the point where you can actually, someone could get injured. If we had a massive crack in our kitchen, you could see daylight through the wall. It was ridiculous. During the rain season 2 years ago, so the whole kitchen had to be completely demolished and brand new. Had to be done again. So that wasn't cheap. That was about 20+ K Aussie, which again, it's a lot cheaper than what you pay here for the same thing. But at the same time, that's upkeep on a house. It's 5 years old, brand built new. So it's not something that should happen, and it wasn't part of the coverage for the insurance, because it's not on the actual shell of the house. It's a room added to the back of the house, so they didn't want to cover it, and not much you can do about it, to be honest. You just got to fork out the...
If it's just like a circumstance of unforeseen happens, you know, it just happens in life, and stuff like that can just happen unexpectedly, which is a little bit unfortunate.
It is. But we all go through it, but like you said, it's unfortunate and you can't avoid it. It happens.
No.
Just got a chart here. Franco says GU, same. Yeah, it's shit. I just had a quick look at it. Kelly Forex CC. I think that's how you pronounce it. Thank you. Let me have a look. Buys above, sells below. Okay, so yep, that makes sense. I've got sells in the same spot, basically the same spot, but the issue is you're running into, in my opinion, you're running into this. This is what the alley. So the alley looks a bit cleaner, but these indecision counts just here is a level of support on the 30-minute and 15. So I'm a little bit doubtful it's just going to melt through it. It doesn't mean it can't do it, obviously, but I would rather see it pull back to that level, maybe bounce off it and start popping below it, similar to what's happened around here. So begin to trust that we're going to make the pull back to these lows. So I think, yeah, I agree. As far as the level, not a bad level to start looking for yourselves. The buys, yeah, I agree with that. But seeing it's consolidating, what I'd rather see is a nice strong closure above the high right now. Actually, we'll move away from it. So let's go back to my chart and have a look. But thank you for seeing the charting. Yeah, I still think buys above is good. However, I am still inclined to wait a little bit higher. So either way, I feel that if we get a closure above the most recent resistance form, so above that 191.70 roughly, then it's likely going to pop above that 191.740 where I'd rather look for my buy option. So I think closures above that point there, still a level I'd probably like to get involved. But I would consider more so now the current daily candles high. Seeing we have broken a support within it, if we come back to retest it and start closing above it, then there is a good chance, in my opinion, we'll continue. So I think it's, yeah, as far as your levels, I think it's pretty good. I tend to agree. As far as right now, I'm really struggling to find anything clean, to be honest. As much as I want to try to find something for the stream, I still need to respect my own trading, my own account, and stick to my own rules. And right now there is absolutely nothing for me that looks familiar enough to take an entry. Gold as well, I don't have anything on it to make me feel comfortable in taking an entry, so yeah, we've had all sorts of shit happen to the house over there, man. Oof. Had bloody severe damage from water leaks from this the window ceilings during the monsoon rains. Yeah. It was terrible. That's so much shit going on. We've had plumbing issues, and thing is, it's a worry because if water gets into the ceiling and through the walls and that, obviously you got to think about electrical stuff, so it's an issue.
Well, that's the issue as well, especially if it's in the colder conditions of the weather. Like the pipes can get really like froze, so it can cause like a ripple effect. Thinking you need to obviously check about your boilers and your pipes to ensure that it's in good condition, instead of just leaving it there and just don't expect the worst outcome, you know.
Yeah, it's hard though. I mean, the conditions are hot, but obviously there are times of rain for a few months a year where just sometimes it can rain all day non-stop.
Yeah,
that's when you seem to have the issues.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It just seems to be like it just happens one way or the other. But in Thailand, I don't think it's that bad. Well, I haven't been there personally to know if the weather there is like
Oh, it's
all
extreme.
raining all like sun and stuff like that, you know.
It's extreme, man. It's hot, it's sticky, it's rainy. That's the thing, you get humidity in the air too, which is not good for like, well, for dwellings and that.
Yeah.
If that gets into, you know, the concrete, because they use concrete blocks in that, and what expands it, and you have issues then with leveling, and oh man, yeah, issues with the back door. All of a sudden that wasn't level, and one thing after the other.
Yeah, especially if they don't do the job properly. But you know,
yeah,
you can't predict it if they do the good job or not. But
no, you have no idea. You just trust the people that are building it for you, that they've qualified. And the issue with the kitchen at the time wasn't the ground that they laid it on. Obviously, it wasn't leveled properly, and start to sink. That caused things to crack, and
yeah,
lots of damage at that time. Oh.
Well, let's hopefully assume that it doesn't happen that much often. Well, never at this point.
No, well, it's some actual why I know this guy was qualified. The guy actually rebuilt the kitchen, so it's so far so good. We haven't had issues since. That was about 2 years ago.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it survived the last few wet seasons, which is a good thing.
Yeah. No, that's good. But yeah, back to the housing market conditions. I think it's crazy that a lot of stuff is happening with the housing market at the moment, and how houses used to be cheap. Now, if you look back, like the early years of the 90s, like, I don't know, the 1970s or whatever, the housing market was not even that terrible. You know, it was just more of the economy perspective.
Yeah.
But because now the economy is the issue, the housing market is becoming more irrelevant and more important for a lot of people to not only try and provide, but also trying to survive. And at the same time, you look at a lot of people buying houses, like, again, we just mentioned about how they buy houses, they rent them out, and, you know, they use them as assets, and, you know, they make money out of it.
Yep.
A lot of people at the moment, whether it's like my age perspective that believes renting is just probably the best option compared to buying the house, because
yeah, it's true. It's similar here as well.
Yeah, if you look at the equation of how much you're paying compared to like how much you're buying, then using that money from, like, I don't know, pay the mortgage or paying repairs, you know, insurance, all that stuff.
Yeah, I get you.
You are saving a lot of money and time compared to doing what the landlords are doing. And
true.
It's really difficult to meet in the middle in some way, I suppose, for all neutral parties.
Yeah, which you can understand as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're putting their time and their money into things, and, you know, it's completely understandable. You just want professional tenants to assure that everything just stays immaculate.
Yeah, which is bloody hard to find.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, even if they're good tenants, things happen. Yeah. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, under a year, and it's crazy that it's almost been a year for me that I lived in this property back in June. I've had a broken oven, a broken washing machine, a broken fridge and freezer unit,
yeah,
and also a broken cooker. So within the span of that time, I had to get all that repaired. Well, requested to get repaired or replaced. I still have not had my fridge and freezer unit being replaced yet, and that's
a pain.
2 weeks.
That's a real pain.
It honestly, man, it is. I'm not.
Yeah, it's not, like you said, it's not easy. It's hard to find the balance, because you understand landlords are there to make money, so they're trying to spend as minimal as they can. They've got a lot of insurances and things to pay for. Wow, JJ continues to melt. But yeah, it's true. It's the same here. A lot of people find it's just cheaper to rent. They're actually better off they rent and buy a property.
Yeah.
When you take into consideration upkeep and all the other costs.
Yeah.
On top of the mortgage.
I've got a friend who's got a mortgage at the moment, and he lives around the corner, actually, funny enough. And he's had this house. When did he say he had it? He had it around before COVID. Now, we didn't expect the mortgages to go upscale at the time.
Yeah, interest rates and that.
So they managed to try and pay all the money from the mortgage, and then when COVID came, the mortgage obviously came up, and then now they're having to pay off the extra money from the mortgage just because obviously what's been occurred.
It's
mental.
It is. It's not easy, man. Difficult times, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Ikra by Gold. By Golg. I don't have any confirmation to buy at the moment.
I don't know what Golg is.
No, that's it, unless it's a new asset class, but
yeah.
Honestly, don't see much. GJ's making a move, but I didn't have the confirmation. Am I concerned by not being in this? Absolutely not. I didn't have anything that gave me the right, confidence to take an entry. So if you're not familiar with it, like I said before, you just wait till something presents that you are familiar with. So now it's at a level I can potentially buy it. Later range, it's still biased is bullish. What are you gonna say, mate?
I probably would have taken the sell because of that pullback.
Up here?
On GJ. Yeah, on GJ.
Yeah. I just don't like the wicks and the fact that it could have rejected this support.
Well,
that's all well good. Could have.
Let me explain one thing why. Because if you look at that last buy candle, that's a bit more higher compared to that pullback of that sell. You have that balance where if it goes above that buy candle, and this is on the 30-minute time frame, by the way, then it will give you that little bit of opportunity to say, let's just see what happens with that candle. If that candle's wick is a bit more higher on that pullback, then you just not take it because it could just flip. But if it was staying under, then you have had that confirmation to say, right, okay, this is perfect. It's not going back high. You have a bit of a chance that obviously it's still a bit risky, absolutely. But
yeah.
It still gives you that confirmation to say that pullback is not too bad. It gives you a bit of a, depending on how big your stop loss is, that you would have taken the sell, absolutely. But it just depends on the lower time frame as well.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% the rejection of that zone. Thank you for this sub, by the way. That's what I had, but for me it was sells below there, but it made the move within that candle. It's almost down to that support, and once again, so I'm not arguing the level. Definitely I want to get involved, but having said that, I still need to wait for what I want to see to give me my tick of approval to look for the entry, which I just didn't have. Looking at all the time frames, to me that's a shit closure on the 30-minute close below, but pretty much almost tapped into that support. So yeah, I'd rather just personally wait till I'm 100% comfortable, because that is what works for me. But as far as the level, yeah, that's exactly what I analyzed as well. Rejects probably heading down.
I think one other thing I will mention as a thing in my mind as a past experience, I always go for higher time frames, like even like an hourly time frame. If you have the perfect like you said, the analysis is confirmed, then high time frame is king. I always stick to that memo because high time frame can help for the longer game. I mean, if you're in for a short game, yeah, absolutely, that's fine. You can stick to short time frames. You can, go in and out. I've heard you mention that if you want to take 8 pips, you can take that. That's not even a problem compared to like 10 or 20 or 15 or whatever the case may be. But it just depends on the trader. It depends if that person wants to
exactly
shorter game or a longer game.
100%. I mean, the higher the time frame, the better the confirmation, the greater the probability, in my opinion. But as you said, it just depends on what you're looking to take from the market. So on the higher time frames, things look a bit clearer. So maybe more potential for an option. But again, personally for me, I'm focused more on the minor time frames because I'm usually starting to wrap things up at around, you know, securing anyway at around that 10, sometimes less. So
yeah, absolutely. I understand that.
but there's nothing wrong with looking at the alley. Even for me, sometimes I'll still look at it just to see, because if I can add confluence based off the alley, it gives me more reason to take an entry.
Yeah.
For me, gold, I need to wait minimum this first 15-minute candle for the next M30. This closes bearish and next one closes bullish engulfing. Closing bubble resistance formed on the 15-minute. And we could maybe possibly head back up towards 2365 roughly. But again, to me, it's just a nice move to the downside. So it's hard to buy against that until you got a strong confirmation. 4 hour looks very bearish. It's tapped into support though. So at this stage, buys are against the actual trend. I know the trend is bullish, but against the trend on the daily candle. It's a matter of determining whether you're comfortable you're at a strong enough level to do so. And I feel we are. I feel you dragged that up. That is the fire level. It did actually tap into that.
And that's the reason why I've taken a buy as well.
Okay.
But it's this very tiny feeler lot trade. It's not like a standard lot size. Absolutely not. This is kind of like it gives me a reason to be like, all right, I'm gonna stay comfortable. I'm gonna take my smart mindset out of it and say to myself, just be reasonable. It's Monday.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. That's why I'm in no rush. I just wait to see something I'm comfortable with. But yeah, it has tapped in. So if I aim to drag it across, it actually has tapped into a 4 hour level.
Yeah.
So it would give us potential options, but I really might rather this candle close back bearish, this M15. Because if this candle closes back bullish and we still don't have any resistance formed at support, we've got a really weak bullish candle against that strong bearish candle. Not enough confluence yet for me. I'd feel more comfortable if we form a resistance, because if we do, then what we should do from my experience, again, just scalping where price action is, the next candle will open up, create up wick, get a break low, and we could head back down towards the lows. However, seeing if we do form that resistance at this point here, and we begin to pop above it, we've got some clean traffic to left, we're bouncing off that 4 hour support, we've tapped into it just here. Then that could provide some options to look for a buy, take it back up towards that most recent swing point on the 15-minute time frame. So that's what I'm currently looking at. But actually, this candle actually has to close bearish to give me that, even for me to consider it. So it means I need to wait 15 more minutes after this candle. Good to see you, Warrior Angel. I hope you're well. Looks like gold is rejecting off the low. Yep. So just taking a look at that. Yep, I agree. Been a steady trend to the downside throughout the day. Ooh. Wonder if we'll be walking tomorrow. Leg workout today. Jelly legs again after the workout.
Was that still from Thursday that you mentioned, or was that?
No, it's not what. We're still a bit sore from last week, but
yeah,
today was again high intensity. I do like supersets.
Yeah,
Do like 3 or 4 different exercises. It's like a circuit. Sorry, more like a circuit. sweating it up.
I'm trying to use like the actual what's it called? The actual press, the bench presses for like my legs. And Jesus Christ, the seats are very tiny, and the actual thing is tiny. So I'm trying to stuff myself in there with my big legs because I'm tall. You know, it's really difficult.
Oh, I hate that if they got tiny seats, especially if they're not thick as well.
No, and there's no actual back support for my head neither. So it's like I have to literally keep the motion going, like forward with my body.
Oh, okay. So you don't fall off it.
Yeah, it's just mental.
I had similar problem with that chest press machine that it's like individuals, but you're lying down on the bench, and so you put the weights stack on either side, but you can move each arm separately.
Yeah.
And I tend to always slide down.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass. Like I can lift the weight, but I slide off. You know, it's just a real right ball pain in the ass. Like they need to put I don't know, something that stops your ass from sliding.
Yeah.
Some brick or some shit.
Honestly, it's the benches, and some of the material of it is nice, don't get me wrong, but not if you're trying to bench press or if you're trying to do any other pressing that has got full range motion and concentration, that your body's got to stay on it.
Yeah.
And if you slip, you're just going to injure yourself really.
You can. You can give yourself a hernia too if you push that hard and you're not balanced properly. Your core's not stable.
No, and especially when the benches are tiny. Because again, I'm a big guy. Like I'm like 6'4", you know, and I've got a bigger body, and it's just like laying on it or sitting on it. It's really really difficult to stay on it.
I can imagine. big lump of a lad.
Yeah, I am.
Silent, you're not taking GJ cells today? I didn't have my confirmation. It was definitely what I want to see, rejection off that level. Did mention it at the start of the stream. But I didn't have any real confirmation. It's just solid enough anyway to give me the catalyst stand. So we got the closed blow here, long wick. Next candle. Yeah, it makes sense once it broke low after pulling back, but I was concerned by the 30-minute support, so I wasn't interested. And since made a move down, which is fine. So it's a matter of waiting for a pullback. Could we potentially buy it? Maybe. And possible sales maybe below 190.974, but is what it is. It's all good, not fast. Did you begin stream early today, or do you start? Oh, I start different day, different time, different day. So Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I start today's time, so 6:30 a.m. UK time. It's what is that? It's 3:30 p.m. my time, so that's midnight. 12:30 a.m. your time, I think. Warrior Angel.
What's that? Sorry.
I'm saying it's 12:30 a.m. her time from where she is. She's in. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, and then tomorrow and Friday I start at 1:30 your time, 1:30 a.m. Ara, as long as gold doesn't slide from here, continue down. You're in a buy as well, or?
One thing I've noticed at the moment with correlation with gold is a bit of Bitcoin side of it, and this is a little bit spectacle, so take my opinion with a pinch of salt. But because of gold been selling, Bitcoin's been pushing. And this is obviously due to the halving season that's happened this weekend. By the way, it was absolutely terrible because I was looking for an absolute rocket launcher on the weekend. So really disappointed.
It hasn't done a thing really. It's bounced a little bit, but nothing crazy.
No, so I'm looking at the Bitcoin's been pushing, gold has been shooting down from the market open time. So
you're saying that people may have withdrawn funds from gold holdings and put it into Bitcoin, or in anticipation of a pump, or?
Well, yeah, because you can look at Bitcoin, it's going to be like the long-term future compared to gold. Now, obviously, gold's a safe haven. It's going to be like that forever. But the value that gold's been having for a while, just look what happened from the couple of weeks that we've just been having it, it's obviously reached all-time highs.
Yeah.
Now it looks like the price has settled for a while and it's not going back to all-time highs at the moment. So this looks like this is the normality, which is really good for people that want to get into the trading part of it now. Now there is a price structure. We know our highs and we know our lows at the moment. So it's not a bad way to start trading gold, even if you're just doing it for like a while. But because of the halving season that we have for Bitcoin, there's a lot of speculation that people are seeing Bitcoin's going to reach all-time highs. I don't know when, but it's going to happen soon. So I think people are going to be jumping ship at some point. Even the bankers and the institutions are looking at it at the moment as well. You look at how much money they're putting into the Bitcoin system right now.
Yep. Makes sense. Yeah, I can understand your point of view, to be honest. I think it sounds pretty like it could be spot on. I mean, again, it's skeptical, it's subject to opinion, obviously. But it makes perfect sense as to why they could be moving in opposite direction at the moment. Yeah, crypto's a funny one, to be honest. They say it's a hedge against inflation, and it's a way out of fiat currency. But the thing is, with crypto, if you want to getting financial returns from it, you need to cash out into fiat currency. So it's not it's still attached to it. It's not like you cash out Bitcoin in Bitcoin. You can't go to an ATM and just withdraw Bitcoin, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course.
To pay for it. It's still it's still attached to obviously fiat currency.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I know how much my value is. So if I want to sell or withdraw whatever I have, it's obviously going to be making whatever I've made. It's not like I'm going to get the coins back. You know, I can't do that.
No, it's they're gone forever because you just, unless you buy them back, obviously. With fiat currency, or unless you're using another crypto.
Yeah, with that currency that's happening right now, if you are looking to buy any crypto or like any Bitcoin or whatever, it's going to be a lot more money. So that's because the value of it right now is more higher, and that's what people are holding it because they can see that the value that's going to be happening, and the longer game is for them, and including myself, we can withdraw it like maybe in the next 10 years because it's going to be like we're just predicting it's going to go over 100,000k. Like I'm not saying this year because that's still far too reach, like maybe 80k. But
yeah,
this price structures that they need to surpass at the moment. It can't even go back to 70k at the moment, and I've been waiting for it for quite a while.
It just keeps rejecting.
Yeah.
So gold. All right. So Warrior Angel asks, can you explain what I want to see on gold again? Well, what I really want to see is a bit of resistance form, similar to what we had here and similar to what we had here. For me, they provide my potential entry points to the upside, because what happens is if we form resistance, then like I mentioned before, what we should do is we are to continue bearish. So let's just say we form resistance here. If we are to continue bearish, then we should reject and head back down. To me, that would suggest maybe pull back to grab liquidity from wherever we form that resistance. It could be at this point here, but that's what we should be doing. We should, if it happens here, then maybe with these pullbacks grab a little bit more liquidity, and then we could come back down, create a low, retest the lows. So if that is to be the case and we do create that resistance, then if we begin to pop above it, that is when that suggests to me that maybe we've grabbed liquidity from the downside. We've broken through a level of resistance which we should have respected if we were to continue bearish. Got some clean traffic over here to the left. Then I could look for my potential buy option. So essentially what I'm waiting for now is the resistance to form. We've tapped into this 4-hour support. As soon as we get a resistance forming, then for me, for the buy option, it's a matter of waiting for buyers to candles close back above the resistance, and I'll be definitely keen on buying it. And if it rejects, going to be difficult still for the sellers, to be honest, because you're not going to have much margin. You're really not, if it does reject at this point here. Can we get involved in a sell back down to fill the wick in the anticipation is going to come down to retest lows? Let me have a look. Let me look on the 30. Possibly. But we'll see. I'd rather, at this stage, I'd rather the buy option if it was to present, but I'm not sure if it will, to be honest, because it looks like it may just continue up, and it may do so now. And if you got your confirmation, take a trade by all means, but for me, I don't have it. That is a weak bullish candle against a strong bearish candle, so I'd rather see something a little bit stronger to take it. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. GJ is still melting. I'm not worried, really not concerned. What's GU up to? Oh, GU, wow. Franco, were you in a GU trade? Analysis spot on. What I say, guys, closures below support, and then you're looking for entries below this current daily candles low. Is there a tap in the 5 minute? Not quite, but I still feel that would have been a really nice option. London open, so it's a candle after it. You got a nice strong closure below it. So hopefully some of you took a sell on GU. Look at that now. GU's a lot cleaner. Much cleaner than GJ. No GU sells? Okay, mate. All good. All good. Yeah, I think that was a pretty nice option. What's EU doing? EU also rejecting. Are you likely to be doing the same? Are you lagging a bit? Could be to do with also the fact there's high impact news to come on it tomorrow AM my time. So yeah, so there were some options there. I don't trade you. We'll see on gold. This is good. This is really good. As long as it closes weak bearish, it's good for my potential buy option. Maybe the sell option, but we'll see. M3 was too strong. We've already 22 pips. Oh, was I looking at M15? No, I mean below this, low. Still would have made sense. You sure would have been a stop loss. Unless you could have used the 15 minute. Probably would have had to use the 15 minute. But that closure below the support to me is definitely a strong enough catalyst to sell it 100%. 100%. And that's me, how I've now drawing my zones. A little bit different to what I used to do in the past. I would have done that and then not have taken a trade, because what I would have said is price didn't close below support. I don't trust impulse entries. I wait. But now I draw my support at the lowest point of the bullish candle at that level of support, which is here, which then to me means we're closed out of that below that support. So we're closed out of that range. So then all I'll be waiting for is that upper wick or a tap in, preferably a tap in. But in this case, I still think I would have looked for it. Again, easy said and done after it's happened, after the fact. But see, a slight adjustment in the way I draw up zones would have given me the confidence to take that entry. Whereas in the past, it hadn't closed below. So I would have struggled to have taken the entry. But in this case, it's actually closed below. And I would have looked to enter below the current daily candles low upon continuation. The previous daily candles low. Silent GJ melting. Yep. Not interested in impulse entries. The moves. I missed this move. I just need to wait. RS, out of curiosity, I see you mostly trade support and resistance with liquidity. What do you think of SMC? I have no idea of SMC. I'm not telling you a word of a lie. I have no idea. A.C.T, SMC, A.C.T, I know a tiny bit about it. I know what it is, smart money concepts, but I have no idea. Is it the same as A.C.T? Fair value gaps or whatever. I've had a mate briefly explain to me what they are, and I kind of understand it, but to me it's just linear traffic. It's not much different. Yeah, I do trade support and resistance, but I also trade continuation. I trade breakouts if I get the right catalyst, and I don't have it here. Closed well above the bodies of the candles here to the left. It's a 4-hour support. That's why I have a deep zone. So minimum, this candle, it's already broken, but it would have had to close below this candle. I mean, the candle prior to it would have had to close below the bodies of the candles to the left, upper wick form. Then I would consider an impulse entry. So next support is 28 pips. How much has this thing already moved from the high? 72 pips. It's a fair move, and there has been no exhaustion. Gold is not going to provide that resistance just yet, so it's okay. Just waiting.
I'm still in that buy, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, it could pop now. Could pop.
I hope so.
For you, I hope so. For me, I hope it have a little bit of a 15-minute pause at some point, but it looks like it wants to go.
I mean, even if I take 20 pips, not a big deal. You know, I'll be happy with that. It's already on 40 pips, so I'm not complaining at all, no. Not too bad.
Nice one. RS, honestly, I have no idea too, but it seems like a new trend. Smart money concepts. Maybe, I don't know. I could trade it, I just don't know what it is. That's in all honesty, brother. I have no idea what it is. I've never actually gone to YouTube and typed in smart money concepts. Nor A.C.T for that matter.
These catchy names, smart money concept, I.C.T, you know, in my opinion, it's all bogus. Because
yeah,
it's almost the same. It's the same analysis. It's the same plan. It's like reporting resistance. It's all the same. It's just a new name, just a different purpose in some way, a little bit. But the thing is, if you know how you're trading, then it's like just stick to what you know. Don't go for anything new, because
yeah, I agree.
You know, they are going to that trendy new shiny thing. You know, don't do
exactly. I think people chop and change too often.
Yeah.
In all honesty, sorry to cut you off, but I agree. If you like, Josh and I might be talking, he could be in a trade. For me, it doesn't. I'm not familiar, so I'm not taking it, whatever. But doesn't mean it's not for him, and he might profit from it. Doesn't mean all of a sudden, oh fuck it, next time I've got to take that trade. And it's the same for him. He won't, you know, he'll sit here and oh, well, I didn't take that trade because for whatever reason, maybe he didn't agree with the entry, or maybe he was already in a different trade or whatever. But we don't just jump onto a different ship if we see someone else taking a win or something. Oh, this guy must know what he's on about. You need to determine what works for you, and it takes time. It will take a lot of time. I know what works for me, and a lot of it is to do with patience. A lot of it, and just waiting for something familiar to present and not jumping in on anything otherwise. So right now, like I said on gold, I want to see that minor resistance form if I'm gonna look to buy it. I'm gonna sell it, I need resistance form. I'm not just gonna sell it. But the issue of selling it, again, the resistance might not have the margin to take the sell if it forms resistance at this point. So again, it's just waiting for what you want to see and what you're familiar with to happen, and a lot of you guys don't have the patience to do so. That's the fact of the matter. So that's my two bobs, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I can only agree with what you have to say, man, because at the end of the day, everyone's got their own experience and their own way to trade. Like, there are people out there, especially that are on YouTube, for example, they trade like 1 minute time frame.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
All that stuff, right? And there's a specific channel that I have been seeing that it's a bit of a hit or miss scenario, but this person's on the prop firm account, as far as I know. I don't know how he's been doing it, but it's like it's a bit of a hit or miss scenario. Like, you only can stick to what you know. You can't just
Yeah.
go for different things just because people are doing it. You know, if it works for them, that's fair enough. You know, but then the people who are making these names, that are making these new trendy things, they're making money out of it at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know, they're getting the viewerships, they're getting the attention, they're getting the money, but the question overall is, do they know the experience? Do they know how to trade? Do they know their plan? Do they know their rules? You know, and sometimes they don't, you know, and sometimes they win, sometimes they don't win, sometimes they lose a lot, sometimes they win very little, you know.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, people are up to do what they want to do. That's completely on them, and I fully you know, appreciate that they want to even learn how to trade. But I think personally, it's not even worth it. Just stick to your plan and stick to your own ideas of what you know.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
support applications and, you know, make the lines on what we're doing right now of structures, price action. Like, do people know what price action is? Do people know the psychological errors? Do people know support and resistance? You know, this is like the main things that people should be learning about before they even get to the idea about what is smart money concept and what is A.C.T, all of these things.
Yep.
You know.
Sure, I think it's well said. So I'm just gonna catch up with the chat. Franco, are you sure you're actually doing it right, man? You're clicking on the snapshot. I don't doubt you, but you are sure you're doing it right. So opening it in a new tab. I don't doubt you, but I do. No, I'm joking. Because yeah, I keep saying it's wrong. So you are making sure you are opening a new tab and then copying it, aren't you? So like so, and then copying that last part of the code. You don't need to include the X. You can if you want. For Angel, for the buy on gold, are you looking at least 15-minute candle close and tap in top of the zone? No, I'm looking for the buy. I'm looking for some sort of resistance form, because it gives me more comfort that if we begin to break the resistance, we're going to continue up. Because again, by way of price action law probability, if you create a resistance, you should create again on the following candle, lower high, lower low, and head back down. But what if you don't? What if you on the following candle break the resistance, lane traffic to left, bouncing up 4-hour support? Then I'll be more, that's when I feel more comfortable. Breaking above a level we should not break if we are to continue to the downside. That is what I'm base it off. But it just depends on the strength of the closure of this candle. If it closes near its low, I need to wait 15 minutes for the following candle if I was to be interested. But also I want to see 30-minute closing back in my direction, which even if the 15-minute close is weak bearish, it will do so. Again, it's a tough one because we're in a downtrend within the current day candle. Again, we've got a lower high, lower low to the previous. We've also got the 30-minute structure is bearish. The pullback has very little volume at the moment to the actual direction of the impulse. You look at all this. Big moves. Let's just mark it in. Alright, so let's mark it in from this first impulse down. Before we had any bullish candle creep in, 260 pips. Let's measure the pullback. 78 pips. Or 84 pips. So, what's that? A third of the impulse there downside. Now let's measure the move, the second leg, the second wave down. Over 200 pips again. So far the move to the upside, very, very small, very little volume. So it's hard to trust the buyers because you're taking anticipation. Again, it's going to buck the trend and make a deeper correction, which yeah, it can do. But the reason why you'd be a little bit more comfortable that and feeling that it could do so is because it's bounced at that 4-hour level of support. So it's a strong level. It's also a daily level. You could, you know, it's or it's trying to pop back above that level to the left. Not quite tapped into, well, it's tapped into this resistance, so you could argue it's tapped into a level on the daily. Nothing on a weekly. It needs to be cherry ripe. It really does for me to consider the buy. And it still could, but I just need to wait. I need first of all to wait to see how this candle closes in 6 and a bit minutes. And it's likely going to mean another wait. So we'll see. It's only Monday anyway. There's no rush. There's no stress. There's plenty of time. You've marked up 23.52 to 23.61 as the zone, and I'm not noticing it. Now just notice you're not. You don't. 23.52 to 23.61. So here to here. It's after 4 hour. Alright, I think you're using that. Yeah. I don't know. And for me, it's I mean, the lows is tapped into a support. Not too sure why you have that zone in though. That's probably, maybe I'm assuming it's because it was previous support. But if that's the case, then what I just do is I probably just do that. This level price pull back and reject. So that previous support's broken out of, lines up with this support to the left. It's all subjective. Everyone draws zones in differently. Some don't even draw zones, they just use horizontals. And you know what? I'm not one to say what to do and what not to do. If it works for you, you do whatever works for you. I don't understand personally this scenario. I mean, I do understand it. And a lot of time I'll look for a similar entry based off closures above a certain level that people might have a horizontal in, but I prefer for price to start clearing these wicks because it could reject. RS, thanks for discussing it. This makes so much sense. All good, my friend. Pleasure. Franco, yes, that's really strange. Silent, have you heard of Capital Hungry? Most definitely, I've heard of him. Never spoken to the guy though, and no opinion of him. Don't know anything about him, to be honest. Seems like a very smart bloke though, that's for sure. When he first started his YouTube channel, I watched quite a bit, to be honest, back in the day. Not that much, probably at least 2 or 3 streams or some of his video content. But I have no idea since if he's still doing it or not. Ali, let me have a look. To be honest, I respect all trades. I'm not going to talk trash. Everyone has their way. If it works for them, fantastic. Oh, man, what am I doing? Oh, con. We'll get there. Is that the one? Yep. Wait, 4 hours is to sell. Okay. Yep. So that is basically the level that I just spoke about. Could pull back and retest. Yeah, I think that's a good option at the moment. And it likely could be what I'll be waiting for because now it's pumping. I don't have that pause I wanted to see to just give me that added confidence. And I'm not saying that it would not continue up if it did not give me that little pause that I wanted to see. There's every chance it could continue up. I'm just saying what would make me feel more comfortable in taking a trade. That's what I mean by this, guys. It doesn't mean you guys can't take it. I mean, Josh is in a trade. Some other of you in the background probably have confirmation taking entry. For me, I'm aware of the levels is at that could bounce off it. I was aware it could reject higher up in that, and again, it doesn't mean I get my confirmation to enter though. And I don't give a shit. I don't stress it. I'm all good with it. I can always get my option at some point. It doesn't have to necessarily happen today. Could be tomorrow. Who knows? But Never stress it.
Man, that's a really nice push. And that's me done.
Yeah, it's going to make the move now. So now, see, that's not going to present what I want to see. So now it's a matter of waiting for a pullback and rejection. I know it's currently a level it could potentially reject. Potentially. However, what I'd really rather see it do is pull back to this level now. A little bit higher up, give me more margin, play within, and reject. That's what I'd like to see. So maybe it would be a matter of waiting for the 4 hours to close, and this 4 hour close is 4 hour candle close is a strong bearish candle. Then it could be a matter of waiting for the new candle creates up a wick. Where could it reject? Well, that previous level of support, that price had broken below, creates up a wick, and start rejecting from there. And that could be my option. So it comes with experience, guys. You just learn not to stress it. You miss a move, it's no big deal. The worst is if you analyze it and don't take a trade. That is the worst. That's worse than anything, in my opinion.
It's quite interesting because there are a lot of people that just trade under the naked eye.
Yep.
When I mean that is they don't do like the setups and that. They can just do it with just their eyes.
Yeah,
well,
I honestly,
but,
I've done it when I'm not streaming, man. I've done it without even marking end zones and that. Just knowing where we're at, and it's you just know with experience. You know exactly where we're at. GJ right now, GJ's giving me a confirmation to buy it, but the issue is stop loss is huge. I don't even have the margin to take it back up.
No.
17.5 pips. The stop loss is about 20 pips above. 20, about 20. No, that's 25 to that. That's it's going to be closer to 30. So I enter a few pips above, but 30 pip stop loss with like a 16, 17 pip margin. GJ looks good. That looks the best at the moment. It's bouncing off support. You'd have to be in just now. But that's it. I don't see anything else. Gold's made the move. And if GJ pulled back again, broke its own low, then that will be a much better entry once it breaks its own high. Because then you got ways of managing it. It doesn't really have much of a low wick and doesn't really necessarily need to do so. Why the previous candle closed.
Well, of course, this is the new hourly candle as well.
Yep.
Time frame, I think. So prices could flip as well.
Yep, it could, and head back down.
Or up, or anywhere, apart from sideways, of course.
Yep. Silent, that was my first mentor. Oh, okay. Sharif, all good, man, if you're still around. R. We are under Friday's daily low in a weekly support and 4 hour neckline. Can't get more fun for a Monday. Yeah, it's just a tricky one. I think you're referring to gold. Yeah, JJ looks like it wants to continue. I'm not. Stop loss below the current candle's low is way too narrow, and below M15 is way too far. Where do you place it? Random, up to you. If that is the case, it does look good to continue. I just don't place for a stop loss. Gold is in a correction phase now. Buys looking good. Silent. Yeah, well, it's making the move. With scalps, I have to pre-plan each trade, but for the day trades, I can buy using my indicators as targets. Yep, that makes sense. Still haven't got that resistance. Okay, I'm waiting on gold to form a resistance at the actual level and then take a sell.
Oh god. Oh, it's pushing. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm just looking
at the 5-minute time frame, so I do apologize for that.
Oh, good. But it looks like it wants to continue.
Yep.
I'm going to consider it M30 and 15 support, which turn to resistance. Yep. So you're looking at the current level as a potential zone, and then again next level is 23.66. GJ making a move. So for me, I need it to pull back, create more of a lower wick after it broke the high. Breaker, correct? Nice one. So this is a similar catalyst to what I had on that trade recap video that I did the other day, but this is a stronger closure. But I don't have a stop loss. It's a massive stop loss. Plus gold was trending upwards. This is trending to the downside. So what I mean by similar confluence, like similar type of trade, you've got bullish engulfing in the M15, close back the 30-minute bullish with a long wick to the downside, suggesting it's grab liquidity from the zone below, and it's popped back above support. So what essentially would normally happen from what I see is the new candle will create just a small lower wick and begin to pop above the high of the previous and head up in line with previous candle. But it is the open of the hourly, which did close back bearish. For me, there is just no stop loss. I'm a bloody picky trader, guys. I'm really picky. And again, some streams I don't get a trade, some streams I get 2 trades. Last week I think I had like 6 or 7 trades on stream. It was it 3 wins, I think, 2 break-evens and 1 loss, something like that. And the break-evens, the win actually hit TP before taking out. It didn't actually take the full stop loss out had I left it, but I managed my trade.
See, I think the thing is, you just mentioned you just only taken like minimum amount of trades, right? And this is crazy because a lot of people want to take like, I don't know, over 10 trades per day or whatever, and it's like 1-2 trades a day, or even if you don't make it, and you know, as long as not like a loss, you're winning life. You know, you're winning with your equity, you're securing your equity. Like you said, there's always an opportunity to take another trade at any time of the day. You know, you don't need to. I mean, it's Monday, right? And Mondays don't normally have good moves. I mean,
no, not until MI anyway.
No. So honestly, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's great, man. Like, again, this is an example for many people that discipline needs to be earned, and focusing on your emotions as well. Especially if you're journaling as well, and you say to yourself, Monday I didn't trade because I was waiting. I didn't want to trade. That's like a good attitude of a mature trader. You know, you 100%. Rule that you only traded for like, I don't know, you waited maybe for like 2 to 3 hours, like what we're doing here. And if nothing comes to a conclusion, then you just say, I'll call it a day, and that's it. Then you wait for the next day. You know? I
agree, 100%. And what I've also said to a lot of guys that I coach, because a lot of them had issues at staff over trading when they come to me, and I said to them, well, I trade, maybe last month I took 15 trades a whole month. How many trades did you take? 40, 50? All right, well, you've put your account under that much more stress. I could make much better return by trading less than what most people could make trading 40, 50 times a month, purely because I wait for the right setup. My win rate will be high, and I'm not losing obviously near as much because I'm not putting my account under that sort of stress by taking that many trades. So you're putting not only your account under stress, you're putting yourself under stress when you're trying to take trade after trade. You always get involved in the markets. It's draining. You become like emotionally spent. You start acting on emotions instead of the plan. Whereas for me, it's simply acting out the plan, reacting to the plan. If it plays out, if not, then so be it. I I don't get stressed. I know some weeks I'm going to only have 1 or 2 trades. Some weeks I'm going to have 10 trades. It is what it is. You have no idea what the market's going to present your time on the chart, and you just need to plan and react if and when the time comes, and that's as simple as what it is. If you can do that, you're going to be a much better trader.
Yeah, absolutely.
Silent on Sunday Asian session has been, I've been noticing it will keep trending on gold or Gbpjpy, but it keeps pushing till London open on Sunday. Oh really?
Yeah,
that's something you've noticed. I mean, take advantage of it. That's good.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like the market open on the late Sunday hours to like the Monday mornings, well, depending on what time zone you're in, the trend has been really interesting lately. And for example, I look at the market open last night just to see what it was going to be representing for the first 5 to 10 minutes. If there was going to be crazy moves, if there was not going to be crazy moves. Sometimes it's like it's a bit of hit or miss.
Yeah.
And I noticed that the sell-off for gold was starting, and obviously the price had to make its move, and you know, to get some idea where it really wanted to go. But I think just during the Asian session, bam, it started selling off. You know, and once it hit that low that it did on the market open, that was it. That gave you the confirmation to say you're going to take that trade.
Start looking for your buy option.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair enough. That's more than fair. I mean, it's well done for reacting to your plan and something that that you've noticed on the charts happening. So that's all we can do. Trade the plan. I mean,
it's kind of like a continuation for Friday, in all honesty.
Yeah, it was Friday, and up massive pullback, really.
Yeah, and majority of the time, like maybe 8 out of 10 times of the time, from Friday to Sunday or Monday, depending what time you're open, it still continues. So, you know, what we had on Friday, we didn't have any news for gold, US dollar, or anything.
Not scheduled, but my time in the day, there was obviously breaking news.
Yeah,
and that's what shot gold up, but then it retraced it once the news was downplayed a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest news we had was Thursday, if I recall. So it made this move, and Friday we had nothing. Then of course you had the breaking news here and there.
Yeah.
The big one was obviously related to the war. That would have made a ripple effect even when the market was not opened, and that's why this price is just shut down. Yeah,
well, I was waiting to see if something would break over the weekend, because yeah, maybe again it's nothing really has come out of it, so people have feeling more risk on a bit or whatever, taking some cash out of gold, like I said, maybe put some into Bitcoin with the halving, and I think it's gonna boom. Yeah. But when the fear comes back into the market, if something comes out at any time, then gold is gonna rip. Doesn't mean it's gonna be a sustained rip, because look what happened over here. But it would definitely rip. It's just a matter of what levels it still actually reacts to technical levels as well. So could rip up, could reject a resistance and start heading back down in line with the preceding the trend prior to the move. We're Angel, my roommate is high on a trade list. There you go. Well, I know it. We both know that. It's much less. It's much higher, sorry, when you trade less, and especially when you journal. So it's the way for your journal. Alrighty, guys. Well, look, I'm looking at GJ, so I'm gonna start to wrap things up because I'm not gonna get my entry. So good, GJ's pulling back yet again. So GJ could now form what I was mentioning on gold before, how it may form that minor resistance at a support. It's tapped into support, a 4-hour support. You've got a counter closing bullish confirming support on the M30. Now, if this candle closes back a weak bearish candle, once again that forms resistance. So if we are to continue to the downside, in line with the original move down, and what we should do is respect the high of that candle, pull back, create the upper wick, begin to break the low of that previous candle, head back down to retest the lows. However, if we form that resistance just now, and if we begin to pop above it, then what likely we have done is grab liquidity from this previous zone, and we have this scenario play out. Just give me 2 seconds, like so, and we start to pop above it. We're likely going to pull back to retest this previous level here. So it's a matter of if you've got the margin at that point there, which you may still do so, and you may be able to get a tighter stop loss if that is to be the case. The issue right now, stop loss is huge. So that is what I'd be looking for on GJ for the most immediate levels, what we could potentially look at. For sells later on, what I'd be looking for is to see price pull back to retest 191.50, reject, remain below it, and then just look for your catalyst win price action to take sell back down towards the current daily candles low. That is a GJ, and obviously further buys probably back above the current daily candles high at this point. I think should be good. And sells below the current day's low. Seeing we've bounced off it. Again, we should respect it if we are to continue bullish. So that starts to open up this level below 199.70, and we're popping below 191 psychological round number as well. The closures below are better. Gold, the buy above the current candle for closes bearish is difficult because you have no margin. So what I probably want to see is, it's not great to sell it, to be honest. Even at a really strong bearish candle, there's a good chance that is again just the pullback and it's going to head back down and retest the lows. I'd probably rather it below support form the M30 at 23.55 125 in anticipation will come back down to fill the wick on that bearish candle and create lower low for today. But in all honesty, I'd be much happy if gold pulled up to 23.66, and then if it was to reject, look for my sell options from higher up, and otherwise sells from a little even further up, 23.72. Now as for further buy options, now if it does form a resistance here, and if we do come back down and retest the current daily candles low and the support below it, then I'd be looking for similar to form at these lows, a little bit lower down, a little bit of structure to form. As soon as price begins to pull away from that consolidation, that could be an option, and buy it from lower down, just playing the range at that point. Buy low, sell high. That is probably it for gold. Further buys obviously above 23.73, which would be much later on if that was to be the case. 4 hours about to close. I'm going to close a strong bearish candle by the looks of it. Plenty of things could happen. It could pull back still. But yeah, so I'll be looking for the new 4 hour to pull back, tap into that 23.66, begin to reject, and look for the confluence and confirmations on the 30-minute. Now that is likely to be the upper wick on the new 4 hour, and we are going to likely head back down towards the support. That's what I'll be looking at for the sells. So that's about it, guys. Yeah, for me, nothing ticked the box today, not fast. Potential entries, but nothing was perfect for the way I look at the charts anyway, for me to take a trade. So good day of discipline and patience. Once again, guys, if you haven't liked the stream, please do so. It's a good way to get content out there. Also, if you are interested to know a little bit about any of the services I do provide, the links are down below to or where you can contact me anyway. Make sure you follow me on all different social media outlets. And that's about a wrap. Tomorrow I'll be on from 7:30 AM UK time, so don't forget to keep an eye out for that. Josh, you have a good day. Appreciate the chat, good conversation as always. Good to chat to you, and trade safe. Have a good day.
You too, bro. Thank you.
By the way,
Cheers, mate. Take care. Alrighty, guys, until tomorrow, trade safe, don't do anything stupid, and bye for now.